Today is Saturday, December 21st. As 2024 comes to a close, many of us are looking back on the year through the pictures we've taken. But how do you even begin to wade through 12 months of photos, not to mention screenshots, memes, and other junk cluttering up your phone? Today, we're talking to Miss Freddy. Her real name is Casey von Stein. She spent a decade as a professional photographer before becoming a professional photo organizer, helping others get a handle on their massive collections. She shares her best tips for starting the potentially overwhelming task of organizing your camera roll, smart ways to save photos for printing or sharing, and what you can do starting next year to keep your collection from getting out of control. Miss Freddy and I talk about all that and more. Welcome to the Newsworthy Special Edition Saturday, when we sit down with a different expert or celebrity every Saturday to talk about something in the news. Don't forget to tune in every Monday through Friday for our regular episodes, where we provide all the day's news in 10 minutes. I'm Erica Mandy. It's now time for today's Special Edition Saturday. Miss Freddy, thank you so much for joining us here on the Newsworthy.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
So I actually want to start specifically with how to think about and organize holiday photos, since that's the time of year we're all in right now. But then we ought to talk about how to deal with the entire year's worth of photos. But let's start a little bit smaller. Let's start with holiday photos. What are your best tips?
Sure. So my favorite way to handle all kinds of photo organization, but it's even more relevant at the holidays, is using albums. So you can use an album on your phone for a specific project or a specific tradition or something that maybe you're fostering over time. And so an example of that might be if you take your kids out to see the holiday lights every year and they drink hot cocoa as they do it. And maybe this is a tradition you want to document over time. Well, you can make an album called Holiday Light Tour. And every year you add that picture to it of the kids with their hot cocoa and their stuff over the years, so that you can look back on it and see the progression of that tradition in your family over time. Albums will work the same way for a holiday project. Let's say you want to make a mug for a present in the new year, or you want to make a calendar for 2025. Then an album can hold the 12 pictures that you're going to put in that calendar to sort of earmark them or give you a space dedicated to a project. So albums are my favorite. Holidays are all times of the year.
I love this because you don't have to transfer something. And so when you're just making an album on your phone, you literally can just add it right then and there on your phone with no major extra step or other equipment needed.
Yes, albums are the key to making you feel organized and helping you find things quickly. One thing I want to say about albums quick is they don't work the way that everybody thinks that they do. They don't create a duplicate copy of your photos. So when I take the picture of the kids on Santa's lap and I add it to my December 2024 favorites, there's still only one photo of the kids on Santa's lap. That album is a quick reference point to show me that original in my library. What that means is you can make as many albums as you want. You can make albums temporarily or make them long-term, and it doesn't change the number of photos in your library. You don't have to pay more to store them in the cloud. It doesn't make a mess.
What if you're somebody saying, okay, I got to get better. I have way too many pictures in my phone. I want to help organize for all of 2024 looking back. Where do I even begin?
When somebody says they want to organize their camera roll, the first thing they do is start scrolling back from today and deleting junk and screenshots and all the memes they don't want anymore. And I think it's actually smarter to spend your time favoriting the best photos, because once you have those things hearted for all of 2024, you can filter by the hearts. So then you only see your favorites in your camera roll, makes it look beautiful. You could send your favorites to a digital frame to be playing in your house. You could send your favorites, put them in a shared album to share with your extended family. You could take them to your favorite printing company and turn it into a photo book. And so deleting junk, yeah, maybe it might temporarily make you feel better, but hearting your favorites is going to pay off in more dividends down the line, because you'll be able to use those photos or isolate those photos easily.
So should people just kind of give up on looking back and cleaning out their phone?
Well, I do love cleaning up, right? Like I love having a nice camera roll. So I guess it depends on if that is your main goal. If your main goal is to get things into photo books, then cleanup isn't worth your time right now. Let's focus on getting your stuff into photo books. So kind of decide what your priority is. But one tip that I share that people love is called the daily delete. So I said, what if you just look at today and you cleaned up your stuff? Well, if you want extra credit, you could type in today's date into the search with no year and then clean up all of those. So let's say it's January 1st. This is the first day of your New Year's resolution. Type in January 1st in the search and clean up all of the search results, and it will clean back all the way back to the beginning of your camera roll.
Are there any specific apps or other tools that you like to use or find helpful for this type of thing?
There are apps out there, and as AI is evolving, it's getting better and better. But the reality is, you don't need a fancy tool. You can just do this right in your camera roll. And everybody keeps wanting this magical Band-Aid fix that's going to fix it. But really, you already have the tools.
Yeah, and I love simplicity because then it actually feels doable. Do you like to set a reminder for yourself to actually do this thing, especially if it's new?
Yes, I am a big, I like to maintain a streak. And so I actually used an app for a while called Streaks where you set the task and then every day you check it off and it tells you how many days you've been doing it. I'm very motivated by those things. But yeah, you could just have on whatever your to-do list app is, you could just have it repeat every day, daily delete, and check it off.
Still ahead, Miss Freddy tells us the 3-tiered backup system she uses for photos. It's surprisingly simple. Plus, what steps you can take to get all the pictures from your entire life stored in one convenient place. That and more coming up. But first, a break for our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Trade Coffee. We've all been there scrambling for a last-minute gift that doesn't feel last-minute. With Trade, you can send a coffee subscription directly to someone's inbox in minutes. It's fast, easy, and guaranteed to impress. I love that gifting a Trade subscription is not just gifting coffee. It's an experience. I can tell you from having a Trade subscription myself that it makes drinking coffee so much more enjoyable. I love getting that fresh bag of coffee in the mail, feeling the excitement of trying something new, and sipping on delicious tasting coffee that I know is high quality. So when you gift this type of experience to a loved one, they'll think of you every time they get a new freshly roasted coffee perfectly matched to their taste from one of the top small batch roasters in the USA. So, are you ready to cross that last gift off your list? Trade Coffee is offering their best savings of the year on gift subscriptions right now. So head to drinktrade.com/newsworthy to send a personalized coffee subscription in minutes. Again, go to drinktrade.com/newsworthy while Trade is offering their best savings of the year on gift subscriptions. The Newsworthy is also brought to you by ZocDoc. I love so much about my life, but let's be honest, life's list of things to do is a bit much sometimes. So I welcome any tools to help make it all easier. And when it comes to finding the right doctor and making appointments, ZocDoc can help me cross those off my list so much faster. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, or are a good fit for any medical need, and who are highly rated by verified patients. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So whenever I need a new doctor, I check ZocDoc. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/newsworthy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. Okay, now back to our conversation. Do you do any sort of backup system?
Oh, yes, that's a big question. My goal, the backup best practice, is to have 3 copies of your photo library. So I have my main copy. For me, that's in iCloud. And that's why I'm saying on my phone, I can just search and I see my whole history.
So you pay extra for your iCloud?
Yes, I pay for the 2 terabyte iCloud plan. It is 100% worth it. I know it feels like a point of resistance because not all of us grew up in a time of cloud services, right? I didn't. And so this feels like a new expense and an unnecessary expense that I should try to resist or always stay in the smallest plan, right? And what that does is make it harder to enjoy our photos. This service, cloud services are built to hold everything. And when we're saying, oh, as soon as I get a message that's full, I want to offload these to my computer, like we used to do. Well, then what are we going to do when we want to make a memory book for somebody's whole life and our pictures are in 3 different places on 3 different hard drives? We can't use them. The cloud services are meant to hold our whole life. And so we should pay for the amount needed to do that. In perspective, we used to pay $10 for the roll of film, $10 to develop it. And that was to get 24 photos a month. And I mean, maybe we complained about it. I don't remember complaining about the cost of developing film, but now we complain about the $10 a month for iCloud. And it's less than 1 roll of film for 24 photos.
So you have the iCloud. Take us from there.
iCloud is my main library, so I can access that from my phone or an iPad or my Mac. Then I have Amazon Photos as a backup. So a lot of people don't realize that if you're a Prime member, you get unlimited photo storage with Amazon Prime. So you can install the Amazon Photos app on your phone and it will back up your contents that are, in my case, in iCloud. So I have a copy. Yep. And for free, if you're a Prime member, you get unlimited photo storage.
You're changing my life right now. Okay.
Yeah. And then once a year, I use Amazon to download a copy to a hard drive so that I have one copy that is not cloud-based. It's in my possession. I'm a big stickler of I think we should own a copy that is ours, not cloud-based. So that gives us the freedom to be in possession of our photos. If I want to switch to PC tomorrow, I can. I just take this hard drive over here with me. If I want to try something new, like the latest and greatest photo service, okay, great. I just take this hard drive and I upload it into the new service.
But you don't feel like you need to print everything out because, technology is moving so fast. Do you feel confident that you'll always be able to plug in your hard drive to whatever the newest thing is?
That's another benefit of the cloud is it sort of is helping us move through these technological changes. So like as formats change, the cloud is sort of adapting. But I do love printing my photos. Once a year, I make a photo book. I call it my family yearbook of my favorite photos for the year. So it's probably like 300 to 400 photos of the year. So that's not all my photos, but the best go into this one book.
And are those usually, have you favorited those each day like you talked about? Is that the system that you're using?
Yeah, if you get in the habit of favoriting every day, okay, January, I will pull up my favorites. I can type in my search 2024, favorites, and just see probably 300 to 400 pictures that I favorited over the course of this year. And that makes it so much easier to go print those.
And when you create this photo book, whether you're doing a holiday book or the full year, how do you like to organize it? Is it just chronological or are you sitting there and picking your favorites and changing? I always get a little overwhelmed with like what picture fits in what shape of the book that that fits the template.
My big mentality is done is better than perfect. If I am thinking about which shape and which goes where and what color and what words and all of that, the book's not going to get finished. It's just going to get abandoned in the cart. So my photo books are truly just collages of photos on a page. There's no artistic elements. It's just a white background with photos on the page. And the photos tell the story. Mine are chronological because that's easy. I can get the photos on the pages in the order that they happened. And so I start with a little title that says January, and I usually write a little summary. Then it's a bunch of pages of January photos. Then there's February with a little summary, and then the pages of February photos. So I don't by any means caption each one or put a lot of text. I just do a little monthly summary.
Do you like a specific service or are you just printing them out at wherever and making your own?
I like to make my books at a company called Printique. They are owned by Adorama, the professional camera gear company out of Brooklyn. And they make a professional quality book that's like archival quality, lay flat. I don't have to worry about my kids ripping the pages. It's really nice. And so if I'm going to go to all this effort to make this book once a year, I'm willing to spend a little bit more to make it last.
We've already kind of talked about what your plan is moving forward. Is there anything else you want to add about the system we should have, starting on January 1st for 2025?
What we talked about is like, hey, how do you wrangle the photos you have right now on your phone? But the reality for most people that I work with is your phone is only a little part of the picture. It's not your whole life of photos. And so one thing that I would say, encourage everyone to work on in 2025 is how do we get the rest of the photos from our history, our story? How do we get them into this hub so that they're all in one place? It is so valuable to resurrect those old hard drives, get stuff from old cloud services you don't work with anymore, and bring them into your hub so that you can have them all in one place to enjoy.
So where do you even start, and how do you think about getting that done?
I say it's best to start with digital. Let's get your hub built. Let's get all of your digital photos in one place. Then if later you could move on to scanning. If you grew up like me in the time of print, you can get pictures. Maybe you already have them, but they're just not digital yet. That's a whole separate project. Get the digital house built. Then we can move on to scanning some of those old photos. And that can be a really rewarding project too. You're going to find lots of memories.
I'm probably going to start with just my phone. Then when that's done, move on to the next thing. But I like having this kind of 3-step process here.
Yeah, that's the long range vision, because think about what that means. So on my phone now, I can search Halloween costume. And I see pictures of myself as a kid in my Halloween costumes. And then I see my kids currently in Halloween costumes. Or if I search dog, I see all the dogs that have been in my life. When my grandfather passed away and I had to give photos to submit to the slideshow at his funeral, I just typed in my grandpa's name and the facial recognition found him in the scans from my childhood at Christmas all the way up until his most recent years. So technology, if you do that work first, getting all your photos into one place, technology can make it so much easier to find what you need and to use and enjoy those photos.
It's a good point to bring up technology because, especially in 2024, we've heard so much about artificial intelligence. Is there anything specific that's really standing out to you about how AI is changing the way we store and organize our photos?
I think the wave of what's coming with AI related to photos is going to make it easier for us to do things with them. So it will be able to help us make a photo book. If we take all the 2000 from the year, right? Or if we say prioritize my favorites, AI already is helping me with the way I search for things. And I have it help me write the journaling that goes in my books because I'm not a writer, right? There's lots of ways that it can help me, but I think it's going to continue to evolve.
But some of these basics that you've brought up really is the only way to get that done, because unless we want AI to create our memories for us.
Oh my gosh, you've seen some of those, right? Where it's like recreating my great grandma meeting my baby. And I'm like, oh, this does not look real. This is not
like,
good.
I want the real thing, please. Yes. Such great, doable, actionable advice here. Any final thought as we kind of wrap up this year? We're going ahead in 2025 as somebody maybe wants to start tackling all of these things that we've talked about.
I really encourage people to try the daily delete. That is something you can try today. You don't need to wait till the new year to start a new resolution. Just give it a try today. And then I'm just going to reiterate to not focus on the junk. As you mentioned, AI and different things are making it easier to filter that out. Right now with the new Apple update that came out this fall, there's now a way to just uncheck screenshots from showing up in your camera roll. So it looks a lot cleaner, right? So let's not spend all of the precious hours. We're all busy deleting junk when we could be spending that time favoriting or making a photo book or doing some of the work that's more rewarding long term.
Well, thank you so much to Miss Freddy, Casey von Stein. You can find her on her website, missfreddy.com. That's Freddy with a Y. And be sure to follow her on Instagram at miss.freddy. And be sure to check back in with us on Monday. We have one more show for you before the Christmas holiday. Until then, thanks for listening and have a great weekend.